following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with what will hopefully be a quick and successful review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most recent collaborative series Transformers figure. It is the Transformers Stranger Things collaborative crossover figure of Code Red. So there he is in his robot mode and in his alt mode, and he's really impressive looking. There's his name up there, and Code Red is a heroic Autobot, so that's nice to see. And he is based off of the pizza delivery van and from Surfer Boy, the pizza restaurant featured in the television series Stranger Things, which airs on Netflix. So that's really impressive looking here. Now, I have never watched the TV show Stranger Things, so I don't know too much about the show at all, other than what I've seen from other reviews that other collectors have already done on Code Red here. So if I don't get any references to the TV show, I apologize for that. But here on Code Red's box, it's based off of a pizza box from the restaurant from the TV show, known as Surfer Boy's Pizza. So yeah, it's really impressive looking how Hasbro and Descartes told me how the designers went all out with the box, making it look like an actual pizza box from the TV show. So you've got the pizza logo right there. Here for Surfer Boy Pizza, you've got the red and white checkered pattern associated with pizza restaurants. You got a coupon here that that I recommend not cutting out because it doesn't work. The telephone number on there, from what I read on the Transformers Wikipedia, if you dial that phone number, you get a voice recording from one of the actors on the Stranger Things television show. Oh, so it doesn't really do much else. And yes, so you've got here on the collaborative series, you got the Autobot logo on one side, and then you've got one of the alien creatures from Stranger Things. Again, I've never watched Stranger Things, so I don't know what the aliens' names are. But coming on here to the back of the box, you've got Code Red in his robot mode and in his alt mode of the Surfer Boys Pizza Delivery Van, and it is an officially licensed Volkswagen minivan, so that's nice there. You got the silver Volkswagen logo on the front bumper, as you said, bumper and front grill section. You got an actual pizza box, and then you've got this is actually Code Red's name written in Cybertronian language, so that's really nice to see that there. I believe he is the size of a Voyager class Transformers figure, I'm not certain. He is a head taller than the Studio Series 86 Ironhide and Ratchet figures. I don't have those figures out for size comparisons, but yeah, Code Red is a tall-sized Transformers figure. Here on the side of the box, you've got a product photo of Code Red in his robot mode. Oh, you got a warning label in multiple languages. And that's pretty much it for the exterior box. So let's get it out, slide it out. It's just a sheet, and here's the inner box, and it is an actual pizza box from the TV show. Oh, you've got the Surfer Boy Pizza logo on top, but then here on the bottom, you've got the different pizza toppings that you can collect, and then this pizza in particular is pineapple with jalapenos on the toppings, and it is none other than Code Red himself. So Code Red likes pineapple and jalapeno pizza, which I have never heard of that combination before now. So that's it for the exterior box. Stranger Things is copyrighted by Netflix, so come look in here at the back of the box. Because this is an officially licensed Volkswagen minivan, and to make Code Red and have this figure become reality, where there's the pizza delivery van from Stranger Things is a Transformers action figure. It was made in collaboration with Netflix, Hasbro, Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Motor Company, and everyone else associated with the Stranger Things television show. So yeah, it was a collaboration of multiple companies. So let's get the pizza box open and see what's inside. Alright, and so the box itself is just as cool as the actual Code Red action figure here, which is why I'm spending so much time on it. So you open up the flap, there's the Stranger Things Aang's logo right there, and then you open the box up, and here on the inside of the lid, you've got grease stains on the interior of the box, which makes it look like there was an actual pizza in here. So that's really, really impressive to see that. You've got the clock from the Stranger Things TV show. You've got some of the faces of some of the alien creatures, and you've got the Autobot logo there on the grease stain there on the inside lid. So that's really impressive looking. And then here on the box itself, you've got the pizza right here, although it doesn't look like a pineapple and jalapeno to me. Yeah, at least at first glance it doesn't, but now that I'm giving it a good glance, I think it is. So here on this thing right here, which is a folded up napkin from the show, is the actual Code Red action figure. And then taking this part off to the side, one thing that some people have overlooked is that right here you've got the Surfer Boy logo right here on this part of the front of the box. And the reason why it looks like this is because it's actually a pair of cardboard goggles that you can separate in half. So that's really fun there. I'm not going to take those glasses off since they don't really work. And then here on the inside of the box, you've got more grease stains, and you've got a piece of pizza crust left over. So yeah, this was one greasy pizza that was slathered with cheese and tomato sauce. So that's really nice looking there. It makes me think of an actual pizza box. Fortunately, I had pizza over the last few days, so I'm not craving any pizza right now. Now, here's the instruction sheet. And you've got Code Red's name right there again. So that piece of paper you just heard me throw away was just the warning label for it. You got the accessory pieces here on a nap. What is a napkin? Napkin that is, instead of being the standard red and white checkered pattern that you find at pizza restaurants, it's got the Autobot logo on it instead. So very carefully getting the tape off to remove that. And it's very thick tape used here on Transformers action figures, so carefully slide that out. And there's the napkin with the Autobot logos on it. Alright, see if I can get the tape without damaging it. It is peeling the layer of red paint that's found on the surface of it, but some of the paper got ripped off right there. But yeah, it is pretty strong tape, and this is just regular standard tissue paper. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this or not. I might, just because of how cool looking it is. But yeah, it's almost like there's no part of this set thing that you want to throw away, even if you take Code Red out. So yeah, there's that tissue paper covered in the Autobot logo. I think I'll hold on to this just for now, just because of how neat looking it is. But here's the accessory pieces for Code Red, and you've got an actual Surfer Boy pizza box right here, and it's got a rectangular peg on the back. And I kind of wish it would have had a standard 5mm peg, then you could have attached it to 5mm ports. And the other accessory pieces, I just dropped one. You've got an axe that I believe is from the Stranger Things TV show. You've got a spiked mace type club weapon, which someone who's watched another reviewer said in his review, he actually has watched Stranger Things. This is actually supposed to be a baseball bat covered with nails. So yeah, really nice modern day mace weapon. And then you've got a blast effect type piece, and Code Red, that instead of coming with a blast effect that's already been used before, he comes with a brand new blast effect that's never been seen. So whether or not Hasbro and Takara Tomy are going to use this blast effect on other weapons in the future is uncertain at this point. But if you wanted to, you could have it. You want to have some fun, you could just plug it right. Get in there at the end, and all three weapons, you can't weapons can combine. And here you can even take the pizza box and put it here on the. I thought you could put it on the axe, but I guess not. Oh, yeah, you can put it there on the side of the axe if you want, and now you've got all the weapons combined into one and a chaotic weapon. But yeah, those are really nice accessory pieces for Code Red. And then for Code Red himself, gently have to get him out of here. So once you remove him, you can fold back out the flaps here on the interior, and there's the pizza nearly completed. Now, another interesting thing is that just like the accessory pieces, the tissue paper that Code Red Ed is actually wrapped up in, it's actually a napkin from the Stranger Things TV show. Oh, that has a bunch of drawings on it, and I wanted to share those drawings with you guys, so let's pause the video for a moment while I free Code Red very carefully without actually tearing this paper that he's wrapped up in apart, because there's a lot to see on it. Strange, isn't it? Ha ha ha. A pun. That was a bad pun. Alright, so that took a little longer than I had wanted it to, but I had to be careful that I didn't just violently rip the tape off and rip this apart. But here's the piece of paper that the Code Red action figure itself comes wrapped in, and it's a napkin based on the TV show. It's got a whole bunch of drawings. I don't know how my camera's gonna show it up. If I angle it like this, it shows up a little bit. You got the Ward Hawkins, surrounded by some trees and a forest. You got Salt Lake City here under these mountains. You got a laptop computer, spiraling arrow. Again, I've never watched the TV show Stranger Things, so I don't know the representation of these images here on this napkin. And then you've got Lenora Hills, followed by a beach with the palm trees, ocean, and sun right there. You got a drawing of a little girl with the name Evelyn, surrounded by a cactus. And you've got arrows pointing out at everything, how these different locations are all connected to each other. Either, I don't know. Again, I apologize for having never watched Stranger Things, so I don't know what all the images are made to represent. But the main reason I say this piece of paper and I wanted to share this napkin with you guys is because of this right here. One of the images on this piece of paper is some real life coordinates found on a map. The coordinates are 37.2331 degrees north by 115.7901 degrees west. And so I actually decided to look up on a map after watching another review of Code Red to see if those coordinates were real, and they are. And if you look up the location of this set of coordinates on a map, what is located there at those coordinates is none other than the real-life military base known as Area 51. So yeah, Code Red comes packaged with the coordinates showing you the exact location of where Area 51 is, but do not go there. Do not try to enter Area 51 without permission from the United States government, because if you do, you will most likely never be seen again, because Area 51 is the top guarded military base in the entire United States of America. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. That those of you who haven't watched Stranger Things or have any or doubt or are clueless about what it's about, it's basically about alien life forms, and you don't get associated with aliens as much as Area 51 does. So moving on from the paper that Code Red came wrapped in, let's move on to Code Red himself. And so here he is, in his alt mode, the mode he comes packaged in. And yeah, he's an officially licensed Volkswagen minivan. You've got all the Surfer Boy Pizza logos painted here on him. And we've even got the surfboard Surfer Boy Pizza logo here on the roof. It is another accessory piece, but when you get Code Red for the first time, it's already attached to the roof. This side's the slightly more eye-catching side, because on the other side you've got the two screws right there. But yeah, overall, I'm really thrilled with how Code Red came out. He does his wheels do roll really well, and there is a slightly bit of clearance space underneath there, which is accurate to how Volkswagen minivans are. They're on elevated tires. And I've seen multiple Volkswagen minivans similar to this model that Code Red transforms into around where I live. You see, it's really nice having an actual officially licensed Volkswagen minivan on here. I guess the Netflix Bumblebee figure sold well enough that Hasbro was able to get uh, make another deal with the Volkswagen Motor Company to produce Code Red here. You even got a Volkswagen logo there on the back of the vehicle. Got some words here. Here one says Vanagon, which I believe is the word wagon in German. And you've got the Volkswagen logo on the other side. And one thing I'm really enjoying seeing it here with Code Red, that is all the paint detailing on here. You've got blue for the headlights here, and then of course the grill sections are all black, and then the Volkswagen logo is painted silver, which is nice. Got black paint on the windshield wipers. The Surfer Boy Pizza logo is done in red. The surfboard on top. It's only the front windows that are done in clear plastic. The back windows are solid plastic done in blue paint. But it's nice that all the windows are painted. Most mass retail Transformers figures lately that turn to cars and trucks, half the windows are left unpainted. So that's a really nice thing to see there. Unfortunately, here on the back, the different panel sections make it look like there's sections of the vehicle mode missing. But I personally can overlook that. I don't really care. Here in the air because you've got again, the officially licensed Volkswagen logos, they're all painted black. And then you've got red paint for the tail lights. And you got the rear bumpers painted black, just like the front bumper. I don't know if I pointed that out already. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with how this figure turned out. Out, and I really like Code Red. What drew me, even though I've never watched Stranger Things, what drew me to eyeing into this figure was the name that Hasbro and Dakar Tomy decided to give this figure. I mean, Code Red, that is a pretty fantastic name, and I'm surprised it hasn't been used on a Transformers character until now. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that motivated me to get this action figure was his incredible name. Some of the collaborative Transformers figures that have been released in more recent years, the names of them have been a little lackluster, and they've actually turned me off from wanting to buy and collect them. So I'm really thrilled that we finally got a collaborative figure that has a outstanding name. And then for weapon storage, there's rectangular pegs or ports on the transformation hinges here on Code Red, so you can put the spiked mace and the axe on one side, and then you can have the you can attach the blast effect on one of them, and then attach the pizza box on the other side there, and there is all the accessory pieces attached to Code Red. So yeah, he unfortunately he doesn't really have a decent weapon storage origin. He does just have everything sitting off the sides of his vehicle mode. So if you want him to be a robot in disguise, unfortunately you do have to leave all of the accessory pieces detached. But I'm just really thrilled with how this figure looks. It definitely makes Code Red look like he's successfully become a robot in disguise because if you were to give it a passing glance, this would look like a toy van at first glance, and but unless you actually look deeper inside of it, like you can see Code Red's face there inside the windshield. But if you were to just give this thing a passing glance, it would probably look like a toy van, but you probably wouldn't know it was a transformer unless you had prior knowledge of knowing that it is supposed to be a transformer. So that's really really impressive with how the designers are able to pull off making this as accurate to the Stranger Things television show as they possibly could. My apologies for pausing the video like that, but for a special fun random size comparison, here is Code Red next to Core Class Optimus Prime. The reason why I decided to go with Core Class Optimus Prime was to keep up with the theme of the show's title being Stranger Things. and it's also a call back all out to one episode of the show that featured Generation One Ultra Magnus. Agnes in the episode. Oda. The episode, the TV series Stranger Things, it takes place during the 1980s, but there's historical inaccuracies throughout the show where some technology that didn't exist yet had or items that had been released in certain years they're shown on before they were actually released. For instance, the episode of Stranger Things that features Generation 1, Ultra Magnus making a cameo on. It's supposed to take place during the year 1985, but Ultra Magnus wasn't released into East until the year 1986. So yeah, that's part of the strange aspect of Stranger Things. So here's Code Red next to Core Class Optimus Prime, just for a strange random size comparison. So without further delay, now that we've looked at Code Red inside his alt mode, let's get him transformed into his robot mode, and we will wrap up the review. Alright, and so here is Code Red transformed into his robot mode and with all his accessory pieces attached. And yeah, he is a massive looking. He is just a tall Transformers figure. If he's a deluxe class figure, I don't know specifically which size class Code Red is supposed to be, but if he is supposed to be deluxe class, then he is probably one of the tallest deluxe class figures we've gotten in a long time. And if he's Voyager class, he is a little bit on the thin side, but he's still pretty impressive looking overall. And yeah, there's just no getting over the fact of how tall Code Red is. I think he's almost 5 inches tall, which is pretty tall all for Transformers figures these days. So for his accessory pieces again, you've got the axe, you've got the mace, and then the surfboard that was on the roof of the vehicle mode. It opens up and becomes a cannon type weapon, you can either have Code Red holding it on the 5mm port, the peg that's right there, and it can be a laser gun weapon, or you can attach it here to the side of his shoulder and use it as a shoulder cannon if you want, and you can attach the blast effect. And then one cool thing is that the little pizza box that comes with Code Red, you can actually store it there on top of the inside the cannon, and it can act like a magazine for it. And because it's a pizza box, you could imagine that the blast effect weapon is actually it's this shade of yellow because it's supposed to be cheese. So yeah, he's literally shooting pizza at his enemies. So that's really a fun thing to see there. Now, because of how Code Red transforms with the windshield and the front section of the vehicle mode becoming his robot mode chest, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors have pointed this out, and I wholeheartedly agree with this possibility that Code Red, his transformation is near identical to Ironhide and Ratchets, and so a lot of Transformers fans and collectors are speculating as to whether or not someday Code Red will be repainted and retooled into new action figures of Ironhide and Ratchet because he is taller than those figures. I apologize for not bringing Ironhide and Ratchet out for a size comparison, but just to give you an idea of how tall Code Red is, for some more strange random size comparisons, here he is next to Core Class as a Legacy Generation 2 Megatron. So here he is stacked up to a Core Class figure. And for a size comparison with an average size deluxe class figure from the Legacy line, here is Code Red next to Hotshot. So yeah, if like I said, if this guy is supposed to be a deluxe class size Transformers figure, he is arguably the tallest deluxe class figure that we've ever gotten. And then reaching up behind me for a size comparison with a Voyager class Transformers figure, just reaching for the closest one available. Here is Code Red next to Shattered Glass Soundwave. So yeah, I believe he is supposed to be a Voyager class size Transformers figure, but in vehicle mode, he's the same size as most deluxe class Transformers, so he does undergo mass shifting where he's a deluxe class sized figure in vehicle mode, but he's a Voyager class figure in robot mode. But even with his legs sprawled out on an angle, he is still he's still slightly taller than the War for Cybertron Soundwave mold is. So that's really impressive size that Hasbro and Takara Tomy did for Code Red. And I said this on some of the other collaborative figures that were released before Code Red, how they were slightly bigger and bulkier than most other Transformers action figures. So Code Red's continuing that trend of the collaborative Transformers being larger than most Transformers fans and collectors would have expected them to be. So yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Here's a close up of his face, of his head sculpt. It is supposed to be based on a helmet that one of the characters in the show wears, so that's why he has a microphone there in front of his mouth, and why it looks doesn't look symmetrical because he's got a microphone on one ear here. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with how Code Red Point Ed for articulation. His head is on a ball joint, so it can turn left and right 360 degrees. It can look up and down and on that much. So quite a range of motion on ocean on ocean in the next joint. And I guess you could joke that because Stranger Things is about aliens and the unknown, own the unidentified, it would make sense for Code Red to be able to look like he's actually looking upward into the stars. Alright, so that's really nice there. The elbow joints, they're supposed to be on universal joints, but the actual joint that allows the arms to rotate in and out of the shoulder, I don't know how you can see it in there, but it's actually a ratchet joint. So that's a interesting choice there on the designer's part. So you got double ratchet jointed elbows, so the arms have the potential to spin 360 degrees forward and backwards. They can go out this far at the shoulder, but again, it's actually a double ratchet joint, so those joints are a little stiff. A swivel joint in the bicep, hinged uh, knees. You do have somewhat wrist articulation on the hands, but and this is due to the transformation joint on the hand being a ball joint, but it is a little stiff out of the box, so be careful with how you pose that. Uh, Waist swivel due to transformation, universal jointed hips, so they can go out this far, they can go forward that far, they can go back that far. Alright, so nice universal jointed hips, and the one gripe, I'm going to say this right now, the one main gripe that I have with Code Red is that the pegs that are supposed to hold his torso together, they pop off at a moment's notice, so he does get floppy in the upper half of his body, so just be aware that the pegs that are designed to keep the front and back sides of his torso pegged into place, they don't really work that well, so unfortunately, Code Red is a little floppy in there. Um, Silver jointed hips, hinged knees, which are really stiff out of the box, and then the feet are on ankle rockers, so you can get Code Red into a sprawl-legged pose. So yeah, pretty decent amount of articulation, and I am just really thrilled with the overall look of this guy. Another motivator that made me get Code Red, even though I've never watched the TV show Stranger Things, is the fact that he's a pizza truck that's a very bright shade of yellow as the main color. Reminds me of another pizza truck from a certain cartoon movie that came out that was made by a certain animation company. Yeah, I won't use any names, but instead of a surfboard, the logo uses a rocket. So I'll let you guys figure out what I'm talking about there. So for the final proverbial question, do I recommend getting the Transformers Stranger Things collaborative Code Red figure and adding it to your Transformers collection? Absolutely. You cannot go wrong having Code Red in your Transformers collection. He's an entirely brand new mold. He has a transformation that is similar to that takes a lot of design cues from Ironhide and Ratchet. He's he's a very tall figure. I said 5 inches, but I think he might actually be close to 7 inches in height. But yeah, Code Red is really tall. He's really massive. I love that he's an officially licensed. His vehicle mode is an officially licensed Volkswagen minivan. And yeah, even though I've never actually seen the TV show Stranger Things, I personally think that this is a outstanding way of making a Transformers character out of the pizza truck from that TV show. So I highly recommend you get Code Red if you can get him and add him to your Transformers collection. So this has been my review of Transformers Collaborative Series Code Red. I highly recommend you get this figure. And until next time, you guys, this has been the TF Geek. Stay safe, stay healthy. And until next time, you guys, since it's the December and it's the end of the year, I will say Merry Christmas to you all, Happy New Year. And until next time, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.